Melissa,
Yes,
I hear you have questions.
as I always do. Yes, I do. Okay, you want me to start?
What are your questions? Yes, please.
I would like to have a deeper, more conversational understanding of the big three.
So the
Having
big,
grown
big,
up.
the
Sorry.
big, the big three, like sun, moon, rising. Everybody talks about like that is the main stuff you have to know about your chart to understand yourself.
Right.
Thing.
Because there's so much given importance about sun, like when were you born? Oh, well, people know that usually, although that's not always true. And so that's been that was I grew up and I'm like, I'm a Leo and I'm so proud, and don't you dare call me a Virgo because I'm on the last day and I will fight you if you say
I'm sorry, I just have to laugh about that because it's true. If you want to talk about a fight, tell a Leo they're a Virgo, tell a Virgo they're a Leo. They neither one wants that conversation. No way.
So it's been so exactly. So very quickly, when I really began, like 8 years getting into astrology and ran my chart, I was like, oh, I'm 100% not anything to do with Cancer. That just made me mad. Like, what? That's ridiculous. All the Cancers I know are needy and whiny and which is ridiculous also.
But I did the same thing. I'm Cancer sun. And I said, I don't cook. I'm not going to be a mom. I will not be breeding. Don't turn me into a Cancer. That is so not me. I mean, I get it. I think it's also because cancer qualities are weaponized in our society.
That's true.
Mother is an insult in a lot of ways. The
Yeah.
mothers are not respected for the jobs that they do. There is a lot of just woman in general that is seen as an insult. Like we tell people, put your big girl panties on. Like it's such an insult to be a girl and have panties, and you need to put them on in order to do brave things. It's like, fuck all that. But I think a lot of that is woven into how much we wanted to distance from quite an important part of our personalities here, Melissa,
Because it's presented as weakness.
it's presented as weakness. And we're like, no, I'm not. And of course, I like to see Cancer as the mother, like drag mother. I like to see that, like RuPaul is Cancer to me, like mother of all the drag queens. And there are obviously criticisms about how Ru does Ru, but for a generation of shift and change and progress that has been made through that mother avatar, I'm like, yeah, I'm here for that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Right.
so you got Cancer rising. So right here, you've got a 19-degree, 24-minute ascendant. So
Uh-huh.
Cancer rising in the second decan. So you've got that combination of Pisces, Jupiter, Pluto energy on that decan rulership. But we'll save decans for another conversation. Then you've got your late degree here, Leo Sun, 28 degrees 50 minutes in the third decan there of Leo. And then where's your sweet little moon? Oh, you've got a Beyonce
Okay.
moon.
Yeah.
Look at you. You got the Beyonce placement. You have moon in Taurus, 10 degrees, 25 minutes. So you've
Mhm.
got what I would describe as a life car driven by your rising, which is Cancer. So you've got Cancer in the driver's seat of this life car. And then in shotgun seat, right next door there, with the map, the GPS, depends on the sign. Your sun is going to be in charge of navigation. And
Yeah.
so you've got the driver rising, and then you've got the sun navigating. And in
Mm.
your case, that's going to be Leo or the sun itself doing the navigating. And then in the back seat, we've got a backseat driver who either is participating quite a lot, depending on the sign, or just sleeping the whole time. And your backseat driver making sure everybody's needs are met, leaning in and saying, should we take that rest stop? Hey, I need to eat. I need to pee. Can we please go there? I want to go to that. That was Six Flags we just passed. Can we go back? I want to go do that. Like, can we take a detour? Right? These are going to be things that happen depending on what sign the moon is in. And in your case, it's Taurus, which is a Venus ruled sign. And so you've got those vibes in this life car.
Yeah.
So this would be where we say specifically for you, you've got this Leo navigator going, I see where I'm headed. I'm ready to lead. I want to lead from the heart. I'm brave. I'm ready to go. And then you've got this Cancer driver probably driving like a grandma a lot of times, maybe being a little like one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake relationship, needing to be really, really sure before we jut out into traffic because she's just making sure everybody's taken care of as well. And then in the back, when you say, "Hey, Taurus Moon, what's your opinion? Can you weigh in on this?" Because we got two very different energies up here up front. The Taurus Moon is like, "Wake me when we get there. I'm in the best nap. This dream is so good." How's that sound?
Much of that sounds accurate. My Taurus is also like, let's make sure all of the things are packed because I need to be comfortable. I need to make sure that I can sleep okay. I'll go camping, but I definitely want a nice plush blow up mattress.
Yeah.
And also, I have snacks for everyone. So there's an exchange between, and also, oh goodness, I forgot something really important, but I didn't forget the twinkle lights. You know,
I love that.
and a really cute outfit.
Absolutely. Because Venus ruled, you got to look great.
That's right.
Yes. So, can you tell when different parts of your life car are tugging at you? Like, does that visual help you understand your big three and the relationship between them?
Yeah. Yeah, it's yes. And with Cancer, it's very interesting because as we talked about at the beginning of this, Cancer, I think that, shaming those nurturing qualities is prescient in this
Mhm.
culture.
Yep.
But I don't what I used to think, I've another topic, like I've got Mars and Leo, and so there's this fiery, and I'm gonna get it, and lions are super protective. But you know what? And I say this being careful because I know that there's been violence around this, but driving the life car, I can either be very, very hesitant, but if someone's going to hurt someone else, they better get out of the way because I might start honking,
Mhm.
screaming, and, like that toward that person because I don't want anybody hurting the people, hurting my people, or hurting anyone else.
That's really important to notice. Like the fact that, yes, you have the sun, we all have the sun riding shotgun, like doing the navigating in that front passenger seat, in charge of, no, I know where we're going and I'm going to tell you how to get there. And does the driver listen? Does the driver go, okay, I'm whatever you need, boss, I'm ready to go? But we also have to look at what is co-present, and the fact that you've got Mars snuggled up there next to your sun, not right on top, but close enough that Mars is a part of the conversation, means there is that fight energy sitting there in the front passenger seat of your life car. And that can be a lot for Cancer. Thinking back, I know we've already had a little bit of a conversation in another episode about Cancer Mars and the Mars retrograde that we all lived through. We know Cancer and Mars already have a really rough relationship. And so here's your Cancer driver having to be aware that Mars is right there with your sun, and sun is not apologizing for Mars, because why would he? And so there's, how much does your Cancer driver feel like she can do what needs to be done, because she may see the kinds of things that Mars wants to do as dangerous, because to her they are. And so then the
Right.
question is, there's nothing more dangerous than a nervous driver.
Yeah, that's true.
An assertive driver, usually once they assert whatever it is that they need to do and move on, obviously a drunk driver, way worse. An aggressive, cruel, I'm going to hit you with, I'm turning my car into a weapon. Yes, those are far
Right.
more dangerous. But when we're talking about normal driving activities, and when they were teaching you in driver's ed, just don't be nervous, make your decision and do the thing. Because if you go, and then you stop, then you're
Right.
in a worse position than if you just went ahead and did what you needed to do, get that parking spot. Yeah. How do you calm your driver down when she gets activated by some of that assertive energy. Or do you?
No, I do sometimes. Depends on if it's like I'm in fight or flight.
Mm.
That's where I go in fight or flight.
So you
Usually.
like you got to know
My
where
life
are we in the hierarchy of, yeah.
The driver, I think, is how that's an interesting. I wonder if people do more fight or flight based on the driver of their life car. That's
Let's look
interesting.
at that. Let's look at that. We know enough people and we know their charts. We could just like do a little quiet analysis of that, couldn't we? How about people watching? Do you do more fight or flight from your rising than from your sun or your moon or anywhere else in your chart? And how would you know? How would you know? How do you know you're in fight or flight?
Well, I know I'm in fight or flight when I tend to do the flight, really more freeze. Freeze, I think, when Cancer's there, unless somebody else is being harmed. And like can't because Cancer can be like, oh, I
Absolutely.
get you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And at that point, I'll run right into it. I will run right into whatever it is but maybe that's more sun.
So okay, I'm saying, because as I'm asking myself the same question, I'm like, I think my fight or flight is more my sun than my rising, but my sun is Cancer, and so it actually is the same as yours by sign, but not by position. And the reason I say that is my fight or flight response is lockdown. It's like, this is when I know I'm in fight or flight. It's go within, get little, and get those claws right here, so that if I have to fight, you have to come really close into me to make me do it. But when you make me do it, I'm gonna pinch off your pecker. So like,
Right. Which is one of my favorite things that you say. It makes me laugh so much. It's true. It's true. Now that you mention it, that is true. Like if I am really, really, really something bad's going to happen and I'm not looking out for anyone else, I will do this. Like the bear doesn't see me. You're supposed to get really small. That's a joke with my friends.
yeah, because you're supposed to actually get really big, and like I am also a bear.
Like, well, the bear just won't see me.
Right, I'm a rock.
Right, right, right. In other situations, I think I can do the fight, and I do wonder if that's more Leo, like, and taking care of the pride and swiping someone away. And yeah.
This is a good question. This is a good series of questions. I
Mhm.
think we will continue having these conversations because you will continue to have questions. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, everyone. Please share below. How does this feel to you? Where do you go fight or flight? And is it a part of your life car, or could it be somewhere else entirely? Let us know. Bye.